Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion. What fun!
What's up, everyone? Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we are taking a look at the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron TIE Advanced Prototype, as seen in Star Wars Rebels. We see one of these in the first season, piloted by the Grand Inquisitor, and then in Season 2, we see them piloted by the 7th sister, who is included, and the 5th brother, who is not. Now, I believe at Toy Fair they showed us that a one with a Grand Inquisitor is coming, so that makes me ponder where the 5th Brothers one is ultimately going to be. But this was a really, really cool ship. I believe it ultimately came from some Ralph McQuarrie concept art for Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. I don't promise that. So many things in Star Wars Rebels did. But in universe, this is ultimately the prototype of the ship that led to Darth Vader's TIE Advanced. So this is a little bit of a shorter model, similar wing shape, but they're rounded instead of angled like Vader's is, and ultimately it is a really cool design, and one of the more iconic designs from Star Wars Rebels, all said. We all know that Rebels is a show that I love, so I was very excited to find this. So that said, let's jump into the review and see if this is something worthy of adding to your fleet. Here's the ship in the packaging. This is your standard Micro Galaxy packaging fanfare going on, so it is a ginormous bubble on a card. It is the blue and black card back that we have seen since the beginning of the line. Series 10 in white over there, Star Wars Rebels in white up there. You have your ginormous bubble showing the ship off very nicely in a flying position. You have a graphic showing the figure fitting in the cockpit, and you have the figure right there. Micro Galaxy Squadron, TIE Advanced Prototype. You have nothing on the sides, you can just see it into the vehicle. Card underneath with some legal stuff and a barcode. Around back is a hologram of the ship and a trading card of sorts that you can cut out, if you care to do that kind of thing. Some images showing the wings are both removable and foldable. And then you see the other vehicles in the line, like the Geonosian Fighter and the reissue of the AT-ST. And there are chases of some Rebel TIE Fighter going on, and a concept art blue cloud car. Not the world's most exciting chases, but ones I would still pick up if I found. So that said, let's go ahead and get this out of the card and see what's going on with the ship. Don't let your eyes deceive you. This vehicle is very small. Sometimes in Micro Galaxy Squadron, you just kind of have to work with what you work with. And in the case of the TIE Advanced Prototype, it is particularly little. It is obviously too large to be a vehicle put in the $5, like blind backs line. And it is objectively one of the smaller, I don't know the series, but the $12 line instead of the $15 line. But sometimes you get vehicles like the TIE Defender in the $12 line that are a little bit bigger than the average thing. So in my opinion, it balances out. But what a teeny tiny ship. Just my first impressions in the box. It doesn't fill the bubble by any stretch, but getting it out and handling it, I'm just like, oh, that is not a lot going on there. But it is still a finely detailed thing, as we will get into. I will start by taking a look at the figure, because I consider the figures in these things as accessories, because it's all about the ship, and you just want to put a guy in the seat. This 7th Sister figure is just incredible. For a mainline figure of this size to have the detail it does is insane. Now, some of the red on the chest is a touch off center. That is a little frustrating, but not a deal breaker. I like the white on the shoulders, the impression of Imperial cogs on her shoulders there. Very nicely done. The red stripes going down the sides of her legs, the white stripes on her hips, around back, the painted lightsaber hilt on her back. Just insane work. Now, we very recently got our hands on the Black Series. It is weird. Out of nowhere, everyone's making 7th Sister stuff. But her lightsaber is worn on her hip, at least on that figure. And I do believe the figure to be correct overall, but they did put her hilt on the back. Maybe minorly inaccurate, but what are you going to do? This figure, like all other figures in the line, features swiveling shoulders. They are connected by a pin, so they move together. Same with the legs. They can swivel forward. You can basically put her in a seated position, and we will do so in the TIE Fighter promptly. So the TIE Fighter features an opening hatch And inside you can see a unpainted but detailed cockpit. There are buttons and controls in there. The front window is translucent, so you can see through and into there. Something interesting on this is at the bottom features this push button that when pushed, see, it makes the seat raise a little bit. It doesn't raise enough to push the figure out of the roof or anything. And something that I found is this figure is a very loose fit. And you see, immediately, it's very hard to get her into the round hole and into the seat properly. It's doable, but I just have big grown-up man hands. And there, nope. That's another thing, too. The wings are removable, but maybe it might be easier with them off. Now, because she's in that seated position, I have to, get her to hit the hole just right. There's probably a whole bunch of that's what she said that can be said about this dialogue here. But you have to get her to align just right to pull her out and try it again. There we go. I've generally got her in the right spot. No, I don't. See what I'm saying? It's just not a fun process. But there, we got it. All right, so now you see she's in the seat, in the right spot. The legs are being split by that divider there, but she doesn't clip into anything. And so now, by pushing the button, all I've done is dislodge her from the seat and made her go loose in there, which is already so easy to do in the first place. So, anyways, that said, when you have your seventh sister riding in her TIE fighter, she's kind of just along for the ride. She will be rattling around in there. She's not as securely seated as many other vehicles in the line keep their figures. Although there are some that keep them very loose, too. Now, those wings, as mentioned, are removable. There's a peg and that rectangular notch, and you see there is a hole and a rectangular peg. There is no orienting them wrong, and putting them back on like so gives you the TIE Advanced prototype, and it looks very, very nice. The wings are hinged. You just fold them closed when you want them closed. You fold them open when you want them open. Sometimes on wings like that, where they are foldable, there's the ability to push them too far. This feels very nice and secure where it stops. I'm not going to force anything because it's plastic. If I wanted to, I could, really romp it over and snap something. But point being, it seems to stop where it wants to stop, and it seems even and consistent and very, very nice. The hinges move buttery smooth. On the inside, you can see some solar panel texturing, except on this one, where you get some legal stuff that children love to read when they're playing with their toys. The outside of the panels feature all those panel lines. No solar on the outside, only on the inside. See, unusual TIE Fighter design for sure. But again, that see-through window, the red blaster cannon holes there, and around back. No obvious impression of an engine, but it's in there probably because Star Wars. So, very, very standard TIE Fighter stuff, but in the flavor from the show. Something else that I like, because some of these folding, wing vehicles, are very hard to just put on the shelf, And while Cube Squadron, shout out Cube Squadron on Instagram, is doing flight stands and stuff, hyperdrives, dioramas that are going to be coming to Kickstarter soon. A lot of us, for the moment, are just putting our figures on the shelf. And this is on the wings securely, except for when I knock it over. But it's secure when I push it side to side. The wings aren't, other than knocking it back, the wings aren't folding, is what I'm saying, ultimately. As I knock the wing off, the hinges are not, going to collapse on you. Now, there you see I dropped it on it, and it only buckled in a little bit. Just saying, the wings are snapped into position very, very nicely. And I like it. It's a very nice model of the ship. So here's a TIE Advanced prototype next to a litany of other TIE fighters. We have many in the line at this point, whether it be original trilogy classics like the TIE Fighter or the TIE Bomber, whether it be more recent additions like the TIE Striker or the Reaper or the TIE Defender brought back from Legends. I also thought it would be fun to bring in the Inquisitor ship from the Kenobi series, since that is probably a vehicle that Seventh Sister has been in somewhere along the way. Speaking of Seventh Sister, I thought that I would put her next to the other Inquisitor minifigures we have so far, being the Grand Inquisitor, Third Sister Reva, Fifth Brother, and Seventh Sister. Now we have 4 of, like, the 11 or 12 total that we've seen. I don't think we have the others in the line yet. Correct me if I am wrong. But yeah, it's just really nice getting more variants for that Imperial Hangar diorama that Cube Squadron is doing. That is the one that I am like, oh, so ready for. Probably going to get a couple of the 3 wides of that, honestly, and just have an Imperial Mega Hangar. It's going to be super, super fun. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the TIE Advanced Prototype? Wow, what a fun little vehicle. I am a huge Star Wars Rebels fan. Anything that I can get from this show in any toy line at this point, I will take. And the TIE Advanced Prototype is a very cool, very iconic vehicle from the first 2 seasons of the show. When one of these showed up, you knew the Jedi were in for a hard time. And here it is. Like I said, there is one that is tentatively, loosely revealed to be coming with a Grand Inquisitor wearing the pilot helmet. I wouldn't mind getting one with the Fifth Brother piloting it. That would be really fun to get in the collection ultimately. But yes, I ultimately think that if you are a Rebels fan, you will like this vehicle. It has been done very well. And even if you're not the biggest Rebels fan, it's a fun variant of the TIE Fighter, and I think it will look good in the, once again being mentioned, Cube Squadron Imperial Hangar. So, that said, I recommend you go pick one up, whether it be in the box you can get from Jazzwares with the whole wave in it, or if you turn it up on a toy hunt. I found this at Walmart, and I could not leave anything with that Rebels logo hanging on a Walmart shelf, so it came home with me. So, thanks for hanging out, listening to me yap. I'll let you go so I can go work on something else now. May the Force be with you, and I will see you next time at Hybrid Toy Reviews. Bye.